Hello and good day. Welcome to the Super Good Camping Podcast. My name is Pamela.
I'm Tim.
And we are from supergoodcamping.com. We're here because we're on a mission to inspire other people to get outside and enjoy camping adventures such as we have as a family. Today, we want to talk a little bit about things that people might lug into the backcountry that might be frowned upon because it's a little too heavy or a little too bulky, but you might take it just because it gives you comfort, it's something that you really enjoy, and it's something you'd really miss if you didn't take it with you. So there's a list Tim and I will kind of go through. First off is alcohol. We've heard other people that we know are backcountry campers talk about having some scotch or some whiskey, something like that at the end of the day, sitting around the campfire. Certainly that's something you might lug. It's not necessarily going to be lightweight. You can't really dehydrate alcohol and take it as a powder, I don't think.
If that was a doable thing,
we can make a lot of money.
I would own the patent on that. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people do, especially when they're traveling, multiple people in the party, and it will be a higher percentage because, taking beer into the backcountry, maybe for the first night, if you've got a not terribly crazy portage or something, because 5% alcohol, it's like, oh, that was good. What was the point of that? I know that there's a bit of a hiking convention, might be the wrong term, but when people hike and they do mountain hiking, when they reach the peak, there's a cheers deal with the beer. You lug a heavy because that's hiking, man. You're carrying that thing the whole way. They will do cheers for a beer at the top and be all excited, and then be thankful that they don't have to carry that weight back down with them. Except that they do. Except it's just in their bladder. Lightweight chair or stool. That's it. That's a fairly new one. I want to say maybe three summers ago that Thomas and I got the tiny little chairs. Yeah, I'm not adverse to sitting on a pre-made bench or finding a stump that's been worn by other people's butts, so it's nice and smooth. Sometimes you just can't find that, or we've spoken to a number of people who swear by spend the money, get the good chair at the end of the day, especially after a lot of paddling and a lot of portaging and doing that sort of backcountry thing, or the ultralight hikers. Even still, some of them will carry it because sore back, sore butt. At the end of the day, plunk it down, we're good.
Sitting on a rock, not fun.
Rocks are definitely not fun.
A pillow. So you might take a pillow, especially if your sleep is a little dicey sometimes. You want to get a good night's sleep, so you've got the energy for the paddling or the hiking or whatever the next day. So you might want to take pillow. We have a couple of really compressible mech pillows.
Yep, they're foam. I think ours are the medium ones. For me, if I didn't have a pillow, we've done the, stuff your clothes in a sack and use that as a pillow. It's sliding all over the place. It's uneven throughout. I've never done a good job of packing that sack. So the pillow works well, keeps my neck from being all kinked up in the morning, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So pillows go with me. Right. So luxury sleeping pad would be next on the list. I know that there are people that do it, and especially ones that are, have a little less of their own padding. So, you're sleeping on, it's not always a flat spot. There's going to be roots, rocks. Rocks go poorly for the bottom of your tent, just saying. That sort of deal. So, yeah, I don't think I'd be adverse to it. I've got I don't know what that one was that you got me.
Thermarest.
Rest.
Don't know which model, though.
So it puffs up nice and thick. But it is definitely bulkier, etc. So
it's kind of squeaky, I think.
It's very squeaky. So it's not my favorite one to take out, but I might be inclined to. There might be, if I knew sort of what the terrain we were getting into and was going to be less favorable for a thinner pad, I might just take it and deal with the squeak.
Coffee gear. So I know people do this. I know that they take their French press with them out in the backcountry. And if people are just really coffee aficionados, personally, Tim will do more of an instant, and I'm more of a chai tea lady. So, but I will take my chai tea stuff. So I will mix at home a dehydrated soy milk, because I'm not a milk person, with some sweetener, and then my chai spice mix, and then I just have it as a powder, kind of like an instant coffee or an instant hot chocolate mix.
Yeah, I'm an instant guy, but lots of people do like cowboy coffee, French presses. It's coffee's a thing for the backcountry people, and all the more power to them. I'm good with just mixing mine up in a cup. Books or e-readers. I often take both. Guaranteed to take my e-reader with me because it's super light and has a bunch of books in it. But if I'm working on Adam Schultz's latest book or a Kevin Callan or whatever, if I'm on that and it's going to fit my mood while I'm out there, I'll take it with me.
Yeah. Portable solar charger, just that's something that we almost always will take just because devices need charging.
Yeah, it would depend on your length of trip. You might get away with a power bank. It also depends on how many devices you know how much will get into cameras and stuff. But you got your phone, you've got your Garmin InReach or Zoleo or what have you. They're going to need charging, and solar's a good way to do it.
And specialty food items or like those big steaks for that first night when you get there. So those are going to be heavy, but it's worth it for at least that first.
Yeah, I just watched, man, I forget the name of the channel now. It's a mountain bike channel. A gentleman shot us an email talking about one of our previous episodes, and I went and checked his out, and they did 7-day trip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them did a 7-day trip with 2 barrels full of fresh food. 120 pounds of fresh food and double carries on every portage.
And not short portages.
Not short portages, but man, I got to tell you, their meals look pretty awesome at the end of every day. So win there.
Yeah. Camera gear.
Camera gear. So I have I know Pelican is a brand name, but I call it a Pelican case, a safe, a hard case for our gears. And I carry a 4 action cameras, a point and shoot, a couple of power banks in there. We've got a microphone array. We carry wackish stuff, plus batteries for all of it, plus the charger bases, plus the solar charger, as mentioned, and a whack of cables. Not light, and I know I very seldom, literally never publish any of our stuff, but I have a boatload of memories on a 2 terabyte hard drive that I occasionally pull out and watch and remember trips and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm okay with it.
And if you are a YouTuber or you're an Instagram person, then you might need all that equipment for your channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Although there are people who do very stripped back. Camper Christina uses her iPhone. Yeah. That's it. That's the entirety of her gear, that's stunning. That's amazing. But you also end up getting into tripods and selfie sticks and stuff like that. So it can very quickly get out of control with how much stuff you're taking with you. Just saying.
You might want some special shoes for when you're sitting around in camp. So some Crocs or some sandals or some even insulated booties to keep your feet warm, especially if it's cooler weather.
Yeah, lots of people do. Personally, I take my boots, my hiking boots with me, and I've got a set of Keen. I think they're actually classified as canoe sandals, or they might be hiking sandals, because I sweat like crazy, and I'm forever stepping in the water and out of the water, and waterproof boots don't drain. Sandals work well for me, and yeah, they keep your feet from being all stinky or less stinky. Yep.
And lantern, something like it might be a heavier lantern that you're taking. We don't. We take the Lucy lights.
Yeah, we have lanterns. We take them front country camping with us. We have a couple, I think. We have a Coleman battery operated one.
Really heavy because
it is.
It's like 10 big batteries.
But it lasts forever, and you can be bright enough to have 4 people sitting around playing a game of Monopoly, so not a big issue. But the Lucy lights, they collapse. They're solar, rechargeable.
Light.
They have plenty of light for most of the things you're doing. In worst case, yeah, you've got your headlamp.
Musical instruments. So you might want to take a ukulele, a harmonica, a guitar in the backcountry. Tim has informed me we're not allowed to take any kind of amplified music.
Correct. Ontario parks, I can't even speak for national parks, although I would make the assumption it's a similar deal. But yes, Ontario parks, you cannot have amplified music. Doesn't matter if it's coming out of your phone. Doesn't matter if it's a Bluetooth speaker. I'm looking at mine across the way there. None of it. I can't say that I've never heard it, because I have. I can't say that I'm not guilty of very low level. Tragically, the summer after Gord passed away, I was feeling really sad for losing a Canadian icon. So we played a little bit of Three Pistols. Tom Thompson came paddling past. It felt like the right song to be played. Just saying. Extra layers or extra clothing. They do get bulky and they tend to be heavy unless you spent a ridiculous amount of money on, something with a special fleece layer and Gore-Tex and who knows what else. Yeah, you know what? You're outdoors all the time when you're camping. Certainly backcountry camping. That's one that I would probably be inclined to take, because what if you got wet weather and you've got no wood, so you're not, or you've got no dry wood, so you're not, you don't have a fire, you're wet, you get into your sleeping bag, now your sleeping bag's wet, so you're kind of screwed, right? I would certainly take something. with me.
Extra cooking things. So especially for the gourmet cooking aficionados, you might want some spice kits, some frying pans, even some gourmet cooking tools like a grater.
Yes, cinnamon for your chai tea or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I have heard of people who take like a cast iron fry pan. I've never personally taken one in the backcountry. I have front country. I have found them in the backcountry though. So they've only made the trip one way.
Yeah, people. Yeah, that's way too heavy. What, of course,
What was I thinking? Yeah, or I'm a dick. Luxury tent or tarp setups. I don't know. I mean, I suppose you could take a bigger one. As I become more senior, I'm less inclined to try to get dressed on my knees because the roof is a low dome and stuff like that. So we've got a little more space in the new tent, a little more height in the new tent. I think that's as far as I would go. If it was a luxury item, backcountry, especially if we were spring camping, I would take like a no bug zone sort of thing, like a mesh with a tarp roof on it.
Yep, that's that. I vote for that. A notebook or journal. We talked about that in our gift episode about taking a journal, something to document your travels or document your adversity that you ran into.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to be an artist, maybe you want to take some art supplies,
do some sketching and stuff,
watercolors
sure.
or whatever.
Lots of people actually do sketching, and then they come back home and turn it into a painting, or some people even do trek. I mean, Group of Seven, a lot of their paintings were them hiking into a place, plunking their butts down on a beautiful vista, and having lugged their gear with them too, and doing a painting. I know Tom Thompson used to do little, let's say 3x3 or 4x4 panels, and then come home and sort of expand it, like repaint it, but he painted them in color. That's wild. Fishing gear, yeah. As long as you're in a place you can fish and you're in season to fish and you have a license to fish, have at her, man. Fresh fish in the backcountry is pretty close to the best thing ever.
Well, and you're not going to maybe lug your entire tackle box, but you might pare it down to
we do. We pare it down to a small plastic thing with half a dozen slots in it or little compartments in it, and take your 6 favorites and a couple of just bare hooks and a bobber in case you can find a worm and go like that, whatever.
And then you might want to take a lightweight blanket or quilt just for some extra warmth around the campfire, or even if you do get a really unexpectedly chilly night, you've got some extra bedding to keep yourself warm.
We've had it drop something crazy like 22 degrees Celsius over the course of 24 hours. It went from a nice warm balmy to almost freezing. Our sleeping bags were not up to the task, so we froze because we didn't have nothing extra.
So these things are just your own personal priorities, things that you might just really feel like it's important to you to have, or take as an extra indulgence, and you're willing to deal with the extra weight. So you're kind of balancing out the pros of having that comfort and the cons of having to lug the extra weight.
Yeah, and if you've got any thoughts on things that you like to take into the backcountry that we haven't tackled here, we'd be more than happy to yak about it at a future date. Send us your
Post
ideas.
it in the comments on YouTube. Absolutely. Let us know what you love to take with you. Any of your personal indulgences that you just really feel like you have to have with you when you're camping. We'd love to hear about it.
Like I chatted with a gentleman a couple of years back, but he planned his portages. He didn't care how long they were, as long as they were relatively smooth, because that was his one thing that he wouldn't go without. He took a cart to drag his canoe so that he didn't have to put it over his head, and he wouldn't have to, double carry and do triple trips. I thought, that's a pretty smart deal. Also, going up and then going down, it's never really fun in the grand scheme of things.
All right, that's it for us for today. Thank you so much for listening, and please do check us out on all the social media. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We are on YouTube. We would love it if you subscribe there, and it helps us if you download the episode. We actually get more recognition for the fact that people have actually downloaded it and listened to it rather than just listening to it online. And we also really appreciate any of the reviews that people have left for us. I think we're at 4.9 on Apple. So thank you so much to anybody that has done that. And if you do that, that also helps us. And we hope that you have the happiest of holidays. And this will publish just before. And if not, then it'll be just before the
23rd, I think.
All right, yeah.
Should
So
be listening to this on the 23rd.
Just before. So have a Merry Christmas, the happiest of New Year's, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.